Raleigh recently won a federal grant to help protect communities most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including flood damage and heat-related illness. WRAL climate change reporter Liz McLaughlin tells us more about this program and how you can get involved.
You might be surprised to find these winding trails in urban Raleigh. Green spaces like Walnut Creek Wetland Park help protect the city from climate risks by providing shade from the heat and filtering stormwater runoff.
I have to come back out here.
Its nature center has been an education hub for many of the city's climate projects, expected to get a boost from recent federal funding.
We want to make sure as we're growing that we're doing that in a smart way.
Raleigh became the first city to receive a climate education grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
This money is actually going to be spent in the community.
Megan Anderson with Raleigh's Sustainability Office tells me the city plans to use the funds, more than $440,000, to focus on areas that have been underserved.
So unfortunately, some people in Raleigh are more affected by climate change than others.
Biltmore Hills and neighboring Rochester Heights have been identified as two of the most vulnerable communities. They sit in low-lying areas, bisected by a highway, with flooding risk further exacerbated by highly developed downtown runoff. The population in southeast Raleigh is predominantly African American, with a median income about half of the Raleigh average. And there's a high senior population. 40% here are disabled.
We're mapping out where the most vulnerable impacts are to flooding and heat together.
The flood-prone areas are shaded purple, and the red sections are the most vulnerable, containing urban heat islands, concrete-dense areas that can be as much as 19 degrees hotter.
The heat is becoming more extreme over time.
The city is working with Partners for Environmental Justice to plan education workshops over a 3-year program, with much of the training expected to be at Walnut Creek.
And so we're really excited to continue having these conversations on a more regular basis in the community.
Projects include expanding Raleigh's Emergency Preparedness Guide, with the goal of limiting damage and saving lives if and when disaster strikes. Liz McLaughlin, WRAL News.
Fascinating. Community educators will be paid by the city, committing to projects that last a couple of months at a time.